Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod. Today we got 7 miles in Tokyo. It's like 5:05 in the morning and 46 degrees, which actually really isn't that bad. So let me pop you on my head and we'll get to work. Now, we haven't had a successful long run in about 2 weeks. Maybe, let me tighten this really fast. About 2 weeks ago, we had actually a very clean long run. It was majestic. We did 6 miles. And then we've been having some hamstring issues, so we really pulled it back. So we'll see if we could actually get out there successfully today. Get you nice and perched. Alright. Get my glove on. Start walking. Actually, don't start yet because you want credit. Because you lazy. Let me see if I can open my run tracker really quick. Don't walk yet. There we go. Now it counts. And then I'll get YouTube pulled up. Make sure that works okay. Yeah, we've been having a whole host of problems, which is alright. And when you have an injury or an issue like I'm having right now, your whole body compromises all over the place with your abs and your back and your hips. So one of the things I'm trying to get sorted is just making sure that everything's moving correctly. So we're gonna do a mix of walking and running today. Basically do what feels good. Doesn't have to. Basically do what feels good. Doesn't have to be perfect. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Our target is 7 miles. Let me hit one nice deadlift. Squeeze the abs, find core. Let's see if we can teach ourselves how to run. Now, the one thing we have going for us is it is gorgeous out. Like pitch black, quiet, and only 6 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 8 degrees Celsius. So that's like super doable. Last week it was like 0 degrees Celsius, or like 32 degrees. It was a little chilly. So, right now, as I'm running, I immediately feel a hamstring on the left side. And because the movement's a little compromised, I then feel some impact on my right hip. So what I'm working on doing, contracting my abs, having a nice gradual lean, good gait, uphill. That little uphill jog is better from a form perspective. For instance, this downhill, a little harder, because I want to land with my left leg out too far forward. And that's where it hurts. So downhill, I gotta keep my abs tight, gotta keep my lean, stay mellow. But I'm really hopeful that I can do this run today. It would really be great because I've just been in a bad headspace with fitness last week. I got a little burnt out. Didn't eat very well. Had those injury issues. Had a stressful mini vacation. Had a poor sleep score. I didn't even measure sleep, but I know it wasn't good. Whew. So there's a really big part of me that would love to do this run
safely and successfully. Naturally, I'm not sure where my body will be at mile 1, mile 2, mile 3, mile 4, mile 5, mile 6, or possibly mile 7. From a timing perspective, I got enough time for it. Should be able to get back home by about 7 a.m. if I can find good pace and good form, but we'll see. I think last week I just got a little burnt out. It was my second week back on the job. My wife had a ton of medical appointments I had to support because we're having a baby in like 4 weeks, which is awesome. I got a double course load for grad school. And there's some stuff with content creation that I'm trying to figure out. And I think I just tried to fit it all, which is normal in my life. But it was a little forced. Got burnt out by it all. I broke my posting streak. That got in my head. Yeah, I have all these. There's real metrics and vanity metrics, and sometimes I fall victim to vanity metrics that don't mean anything. As a content creator, one of those vanity metrics is like 2 shorts a day and automating them. So filming, editing 14 videos on a Monday, uploading all of them, automating it so that the algorithm is fed. And everything with all the baby appointments and a rushed mini vacation, it didn't fit. And I think psychologically, losing that streak, it actually pays a toll, because I don't know, you don't want to waste your time on these platforms, and you don't know how the algorithm wants to bless or punish you on any given day with any given video. So it's definitely challenging to navigate from a mental health perspective. Now, friends, body check here. This point in the run, this is about 0.5 miles in, give or take a little bit. And in the last couple weeks, this has been a contentious deciding point of like, things don't really feel right. Maybe we'll go a little farther. Maybe we'll stop. Well, right now, I'm a little bit more hopeful. Now, here's the thing. Things can still go sideways for me on this run, based on where I'm feeling fatigue and discomforts, but holistically, I think we're more in a willpower space, maybe. I only thing I have to remember, every step that I take away from start, I gotta take it back. I gotta run back the same path that I run out on. And that return path, probably gonna have a little bit more fatigue. So I do want to be balancing kind of like a risk and reward, hope and pessimism, right? Like, if you don't take any chances, you'll never step out further in your fitness journey. But if you're overconfident and an idiot, you're gonna hurt yourself. And you're not gonna go any far at that pace. Let's take some breaths. Now, here's a simple goal I have, and it's definitely challenged right now anyway. I simply want to jog 1 full mile without stopping. I haven't done it for about 2 weeks because of different issues. So I really want to see if I can get in the right headspace to lock it in. Hold core, lean forward. We're tracking well towards it, but we're not there yet. We still gotta figure out what's my after, right? After. Whew. Oh, after we make it a mile, where do we go from there? At what pace? With what form? How far do we take this journey? Do we trust our body's ability to strengthen, to carry us safely the full distance or not? I don't know. We haven't, like I said, we haven't had a good long run in a while. And I shouldn't use that language, saying that we haven't had a good long run. What I should say is my last few runs haven't been aligned to my expectations from a distance, from a speed, from a form, from a pain perspective. They just haven't been a good fit. Because of that, I feel like I got a whole bunch of losses stacked against me on my unique fitness journey. Because right now, I'm still supposed to be in like a maintained block. I did the work to train up to run a half marathon. And what this is supposed to be is like keeping a half marathon within reach. I'm not fully trained up for it, but if there was a race, I don't know, a month from now, 2 months from now, I would like to be able to train up for it pretty efficiently, pretty safely. And if I can't run 7 miles today, it feels like a regression. And honestly, that's just not true. Our body's performance is variable. Especially as we get older. Ooh, big wide bottle. I did not see that one. Especially as we get older. There may be a certain level of athleticism that we become familiar with, or a lack thereof. But like every week is different concerning what you're capable of, what you can do, what you can't do, what you shouldn't do. It's always changing based on the journey. And when I have this mindset that I haven't had a good run in 2 weeks, it negates the natural variability of life. Yeah, there's times this week where I could have worked out. I woke up, my body hurt. I really gave it some thought and decided, you know what? Sleep and appropriate recovery. That is the most important fitness. Because if I don't give my body time and space to recover, to find its way, I will push it and it will break. And we don't want that. So what I'm trying to do as I talk with you is process through all the crap floating around in my head, because a lot of these thoughts disqualify me from being able to have a quote-unquote good run today. And even defining what is good for me today is very difficult. Coming off of quite a few injuries, a lot of discomfort. Still 300 pounds of man. Maybe a tiny bit more, because I had a lot of cheesy biscuits at Red Lobster. Whew. And yes, they have Red Lobster in Japan. It's hard to find, but it's there. So because of all those factors. It's gonna be a tricky one today, but I'm trying very hard to be committed to the process. And right now, the process, as much as I hate it, is as simple as one foot in front of the other. With a decent core contraction, a mild tilt forward, a slight kick backwards. That's where the discomfort really shows up with the left hamstring. So we'll see. And everything I'm doing right now in my head, I'm already navigating the fear of I gotta run this same distance back. And every step forward, there's more fear. Is today a cab day, you know? But we gotta stretch ourselves out there. We gotta try. Let's do a deadlift. So overall, holding up pretty well. Let's walk for a minute. Now, walking making up some difficulty for me because the form is different. And the discomfort I feel in the left hamstring, it's accentuated or exaggerated in the walk. So then the question is, can we get back into a good jog? Because that's really the weakest link today, is the hamstring. I would like, at minimum if possible, to get to the 2 mile turnaround. 2 mile turnaround at least gives us a good 4 miles today, which for all intents and purposes, that would be really darn good based on the unique journey I've been on. Getting the breathing under control. Let's do a couple high knees. Oh, those are tight. Those are hard. The squeeze at the top, that's where, I don't want to say something's disconnected, but there's just enough issue or fatigue on the left side that's hard to engage it properly. Let's do deadlift. We'll squeeze at the top. Squeeze the glute, tuck the tailbone, lock in core, lean forward, mellow. Hopefully that was enough. If I hold my core and I lean to putts back into it. Also, cardio is getting away from me a little bit, which is all right. I gotta brace the core like you're being punched in the gut. And I have had some challenges with engaging core the last couple weeks too. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. There's our city. It's where I want to go. It's Kawasaki. But not sure if I'll make it. We'll see. We'll see how far that little reset can carry me. Oh, puddle. Oh, puddle. Oh, puddle. Dang it. Yeah, I'm really good at making myself do crap that I don't want to do. Crap that's uncomfortable and challenging. But wet socks, that's my line. I already feel slightly damp big toe on my left foot. Not a fan. Low and slow. Low and slow. Keep it mellow, friends. City's never been closer. All right? Just gotta stay in the path. We're gonna beat the sunrise. I can see the faintest outline of our bridge. By golly, Miss Molly, it would be cool, be really cool to get to it today. But get into that bridge today. It requires letting go of the fear of what the return path would be, the insecurity that we won't make it. That'll become a walk, jog, hellish nightmare. And my hamstring's gonna tear off of my bones. You just gotta talk soft, like that's not the case. We're jogging low and slow. And we'll just get where we want to go. I'll turn around and just to do it again. Nice and mellow. But at the same time, we got different muscle groups flexing and straining in different ways. So you definitely got to be safe with it. There's really no room for ego on today's run. Because at 31, almost 32 years old now, ego will mess you up. Deadlift. Whew. Might be actually slightly overdressed for this. A little hot. Whew. Might take a gooey packet though. Should we do a gooey? Let's do a gooey. Since we're nice and mellow right now. Now, luckily for us, all of our gooey packets are absolutely disgusting today, so lots to look forward to there. I'll try to keep my pace while I'm walking. It's weird from a form perspective. Walking is a little bit sore than running in its own special way. Let's hit that nasty vanilla bean. Like your favorite cream cheese frosting, right? Wrong. Dead. Let's do a squat. Up. Squat. Up. Deadlift. Up. Squeeze. Deadlift. Squeeze. There we go. That was it. Ah, gross. Back when I was a monster, I used to, while I ran, it was terrible. That lad had a nice pace. Yummy. Yum yum good. If you don't know that reference, it's okay. You likely don't have children. It's from the Mitchells versus the Machines, which is, in my opinion, the best animated film ever. Might not age perfectly, but in its present, it's fantastic. It's by the same folks that made Spider-Man. Another deadlift. Widen out. Oh, it's a squeeze at the top. It sucks. And if I cave my knees, squeeze my butt, that's where I'm having issue. It's right on that connecting point. Double check my chat. All messages. Nice. So we're right at 2 miles, which means if we turned it back right now, that'd be 4 miles. That's a fantastic, fantastic accomplishment from our previous runs. But because of a little bit of ego and a little bit of disregard for my overall well-being on the path back, we're gonna try to push it out to at least stretching. Deadlift, squeeze the butt, tuck the core, run like that, nice and mellow. All right, see if we can at least squeeze it out to 2.5 miles, because, well, the 2.5 marker isn't that far away. It's just right up that way. It's a half mile, you know. You know, that's negating the fact that we got to run those 2 miles back home, plus the extra half, which really means it's an extra mile. But we're not going to think about what it takes to go from a 4-mile run to a 5-mile run. We're just going to disregard some of our hesitations and fears, and for better or worse, trottle along for another half mile. What's the worst that can happen? We die. That would suck. Whew, wet. I hate wet. Gross. It's not allowed to rain anymore in Japan. That's right. Here comes a drought, so my socks can stay dry. I command it. I'm just kidding. I can't command that. So, I'm just working, pushing in to some mild discomforts, keeping things as mellow as physically possible. Shortening my stride, tucking in my core. Oh, that's better. We were on trail earlier. I just couldn't discern my footing very well. This is pavement. So one of the concerns I have, just keep talking about concerns. My left butt is having difficulty squeezing from the glute into the hamstring. Both those are typically used for a good launch and a good landing. Well, mine don't want to squeeze. That's okay. On the left side, my right leg is running with what I would call pretty good form. Pretty strong, pretty good movement, range of motion. And left leg is still struggling to run with proper kickback. So it's basically like a stunted gait, like a dead leg. Really trying to wake up the hamstring and kick back with it. Because this weird gait, this weird compromising behavior is causing me to run more with inner groin or thigh on the left side. That's just completely wrong. That's an area where I don't really want overactivity. It's just not the form I want to run with. So working on holding core and back, progressing a little by a little. But we're almost at 2.5. And if we hit the 2.5 mark, assuming we somehow will our body to get back home, that would be a majestic 5-mile run, which is a monumental comeback from prior days. We're very close to the 2.5 marker. It's right at that white fence. But there's a part of me that's like, you know, for another 8-minute investment, we can get out to the 3-mile mark right under that bridge. We just have to cross over this little blue fun bridge, right? It's a good time, it's easy. We can do it. We can do it. So don't think about the other half-mile extra that you would get to run back on top of this half-mile extra, right? Don't think about that. Just happily jog up this incline. Remember, inclines are good for your form. Breathe. Remind yourself, you have the cardiovascular endurance, even if you had too many garlic cheddar biscuits this week. But that's life. Sometimes your daughter's throwing a fit at a restaurant. You want to make sure you're able to order something, so you get her on your tower. A lobster bisque. And 4 cheddar biscuits. And get yourself half a lobster tail on a fillet. And then who would have guessed it? She goes on a hunger strike. Whew. With the responsibility of eating a filet mignon, a lobster tail, 4 cheddar biscuits, lobster bisque with a puff pastry on top, and onion rings. It's you. We're gonna walk to the top of this. Friends, we might be approaching what I like to call the walk trottle. There's nothing wrong with the walk trottle. It's basically when cardio's starting to get grumpy, you just pull the cardio out. You still travel the distance, and you just do it a little differently. I'm getting like a cramp in my left shoulder blade, which is really weird from a form perspective. But again, part of it is like everything is twisting, creaking, popping because that hamstring. And tomorrow when we have our strength workout, we're definitely gonna have to be extra careful how we sort that out. Alright, we're almost to the top. There's nothing wrong with a little walk when you're doing long distance to get everything back under control. Whew, as long as you get it under control. Hit another deadlift. Squeeze the butt. Yeah. Oh man. Squeeze the abs. Lean it forward. It's weird now, it almost feels more natural to be in this. And that walk break, at least momentarily, loosened up the left groin quad thing, which was really squeezing in some odd ways. So that's really good. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Forward, lean, push in. I'm letting my pace quicken a little bit because the form feels natural. Not perfect, but oh man. This one is going to be hard. Downhill. I'm having fighting demons in my head right now. That's what I'm worried about. Oh. All right. Okay, friends. Lots of things shifting and creaking, twisting, turning. First thing we need to do out of all this, out of all it, let's just delight in what we've accomplished so far. We have almost made it 3 miles, which means we have 6 miles in the back. So when we make ourselves go back. Now that marker will hit right under this bridge, I believe, maybe a little bit past it. Now, ego, it's definitely ego at this point. Ego's telling me, hey, just stretch it another 0.5, get to the 3.5 marker and get back. But we got enough weird things going on with our hips, our groin, our posture, even now like upper mid shoulder discomfort. I know there's enough twisting the wrong way that we're training the wrong rhythms. So we're gonna hit 3 in about 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. There we go. And that's discretion. Discretion is the turnabout. Let's hit a squat. Oh. Forward bang. But we're halfway. Halfway's great. But we gotta get things kind of untwisted a little bit here. We don't want to overstretch because we're really warm, in some ways loose, in other ways tight. But I do gotta figure out some of my range of motion issues. So I'm doing some kind of like military marches, trying to figure out where that inner groin pull is coming from. All right, and we gotta tell our body we're not done here. Okay, we're just resetting. So we're gonna walk up to the bridge and then start the run back on the bridge and see if I can walk with good form. Another deadlift. But I want to give my body, the reason I turned it back, because there's still a part of me that's like, just get it. I need to get back around 7. And I need to be realistic about my body. There's this last 3 miles. It's probably going to be run, jog. It's probably going to be some stretch intermissions. Probably some discomforts. You know. And I don't want to be strung out by family commitments because I imagine that I could somehow run a mile twice as fast as I know I really can. It's just not the right way to train right now. So the reason I narrate all this, right? If you go back and rewatch this whole video, there's points at 0.25 miles and 0.5 miles where I was really doubtful about what was safe, what my body was capable of, what I should or shouldn't do. And I worked through some discomforts, some limits, but not all of them. And now we're kind of at this point where we get to see, well, was this a good thing? Was this a was this a bad thing? Right, we get to let's say eat the fruits of our labor, right? We labored for 3 miles to get here, and now we get to see, did we make a good decision, or was it just silliness? But one of the things I want to work on immediately, I want to pull as much cardio. This is gonna sound weird for running, but I want to pull as much cardio out of this as possible. I don't want this to become what I call a fartlek, which is like interval training, high, low, high, low. When I jog, I want to gradually work into it. With good form. But I do want to activate my left butt cheek. And one of the biggest focuses, honestly, is like making sure we get home safe and uninjured. Safe and uninjured. Which means that left hamstring, it's gotta wake up, man. I've tried favoring it, I've tried stretching it, I've tried strengthening it. It's just gotta suck less, all right? Let's get across this span, we can do that. Squeeze the butt, tuck the tailbone, forward lean. Mellow, slow, lock the pace. But I'd say one of the best accomplishments of this morning. One second. Whew. How good time was. One of the best accomplishments of this morning wasn't waking up, wasn't putting on my shoes, wasn't getting out here. It was that slightly timid, slightly anxious commitment to try to run the full mile. That was where we won today. But saying, you know what? We're achy. Our form is not perfect today. But it doesn't feel, at least at that point, right? It doesn't feel like it's in the get injured zone. It's definitely suboptimal. But I'm a little nervous. But let's try for it. And we genuinely tried and locked in a solid first mile. That first mile really set the tone for what this run has become, as all 300 pounds of man progresses towards 6 miles today. And hitting 6 miles after the last 2 weeks of injuries and craziness, bad sleep, negative self-talk. Hitting 6 miles is wonderful, wonderful achievement. We haven't done it yet, but I'm kind of getting into the point where I trust it'll happen. There's still a lot of little form checks I'm working on, but holistically I'm pretty confident I can get us back home in time to make the kids pancakes for Monday, because I'm a super dad. Gotta keep the cardio out of it. Breathe. See if we can run these stairs. Our initial goal, we'll see if we make it. I want to see if I can run this first mile back. That'll take us to mile 4, which again, massive achievement. And it helps break it up psychologically. It's like, because I could totally get into a mindset of fear and being overwhelmed at how far we chose to go, how much longer is left, how far we've already gone. And rather than being empowered by all of those things, everything just adds up to this isn't gonna be good. We're not gonna make it. But based on where I'm at from a form perspective, most likely downhill turning's actually kind of uncomfortable. Most likely I could jog to that 2-mile threshold. So let's see. Problem again, downhill running, the pace, the breathing, the form. This is where my hamstring on the left side hates it the most, and where I have the most compromise. And this turn's gonna be uncomfy. Short. And stride. There we go. Right back on flat land. So I'm gonna try not to be in a hurry with it, but let's see if I can really kick it back. Again, work through some of that muscular issue. Squeeze the abs. Squeeze the butt. But if I make it to that first mile back, that's a wonderful accomplishment, because I only have 2 left. Ooh, beautiful water noise. But, you know, my form's not perfect or nothing. Things are a little wonky. Still trying to flex the right muscles, move the right way. Trying to pull the impact out of it. That's probably the trickiest part right now. Because when you're fatigued and off balance, you tend to land harder. Let's see if we can lock it in. How can I last? I know where it is. I still got a decent stretch. In my head, I'm like, I gotta run the windy fence. And then I gotta run the scenic dark trail along the water's edge. Then I gotta run the grass lookout and the overbrush. Get to the baseball diamond. And that will be mile 4. If I stop now, which I want to do, that will not be mile 4. It'll be mile 3.72 or something like that. Let's breathe. Heart rate and form. Lunges. It's okay. It's okay. Challenging our body here. Let's hit a deadlift. Doing good, doing good. But we finished a 5K. We got that going. Oh God. I'm in the, oh no, what have we done? Stage of the run, it happens. Oh shoot. Second. Okay, I have 2 miles left. I'll get home quick. I'm on my way back. Okay. Oh, my daughter's up. Dang it. Which means, unfortunately, my wife is also up. Which means the wrath of hell awaits me. I'm just kidding, that's not true. It's not true. I have a great, supportive wife. I do my best to finish my runs on time. I'm not always successful. Oh. So I'm hitting deadlifts, squats, trying to get posture right. This left shoulder is really actually a sorry surprise, okay? And then I'm working and squeezing my abs so I can walk and jog with good form. It's a little tricky, okay? I'm waiting for my wife to be like, can you get back faster? No. I can take a cab. So right now I want to kind of slouch, run with my abs all loose. Oh, it's a beautiful city. I'm really working on hit a deadlift, squeeze the butt, tuck the core, hold the core and move your body while still using abs. Wow, incredible, incredible. I'm gonna try to walk out to the 4 mile point, to the 2 mile, was that the mile 5? Oh no. But again, main focus right now, we're just putting distance on our legs. We're not wrapped up and needing to hold a specific tempo. Needing to push the cardio, like I was saying. What I really want to see if I can course correct the next 2 miles is form. To really work towards a symmetric, slight tilt in my pelvis. Good lean, good squeeze, good form, low impact run. What I don't want to do is try to rush back and be screwed up. So when I walk, I notice I'm more labored. My back and abs are loose and giving up. So we just got to keep calibrating them. So we're going to do a deadlift. We're going to hold the tilt because I think we're at 4. All right. Yeah, we're just about 4 miles. So let's hit a deadlift. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone, turn on abs, tilt, mellow. Keep the legs under us. Keep everything snug. And I'm just gonna hold this really nice tilt, this nice ab contraction end this. Now, as things get uncomfortable and because fatigue is setting in, there's immediately, like within 4 steps, a desire to run fast. So the discomfort ends quickly. And we're not gonna play those games. All right, we're gonna keep plunking along the best we can with the best form we can possibly have. It won't be perfect, but it'll be what works for us. One thing I'm telling myself, whew, you can't run 6 miles in 10 minutes, you know? It's like, it's a process. We're out here. We're working into it. We're choosing to run good form, good power, mellow pace. I'm breathing. I'm focused. Thinking about life. Enjoying my city. And I know if I can stick with this, as hard as it is the fastest way we will get home is by holding a slower but proper pace with good form, small steps, safe landings, low impact, core contraction, slight gradual tilt, shoulders rolled back, eyes forward, abs in with oxygen. Now, I don't always run this slow, but this is a recognition of where my body's at right now. I'm walking the line between pushing myself but staying within my body's capability without injury. If I started to get impatient, started to run a little bit too fast, started to lose core contraction and tilt, started to basically get in a rush, we start moving towards injury, and it's just not an optimal movement for my body right now. Which means we're just out here longer. we're perfectly content not being out here longer. I mean, we're already 4.5 miles in, friends. That's more than enough. I mean, no, it's not actually. We have to. You gotta get up to 6. But, you know, initially targeting 7, hitting 6 safely with a reasonable yet disciplined pace and form. That's a win, baby. Huge win today. How gozaimasu. Excellent, excellent. Now, we might be at the point, friends, where it's time to try to change our battery. I'm just saying that because I don't want to run, which is also true. Oh, beautiful. Let me check. Put you in my pocket. We might be doing a battery change here. .33% with 1.5 miles left to 6. Oh, you probably make it home. Let's just go for it. It's easier. Just under a third of battery. With under a third of this run left, let's do a brisk walk. Okay? So, on the run, we're taking the short steps until we finally hit a deadlift. Let's hit a ski. Oh, that's where it is. That's where the pain is. That's fine. Tuck the core, do a deadlift. Squeeze the butt, tuck it. Let's walk with kind of a lunge, kind of a purpose work into that left glute hamstring, which hates this. With a fast walk, your feet go out past your center of mass, and that landing, when you have hamstring discomfort like I have, I'm gonna call it discomfort and not injury. When you have that discomfort, you feel it tighten to pull you over the ankle, kind of move your body forward. It's tricky. Okay, so I'm intentionally doing it almost as like a dynamic stretch, seeing if I can get it to fire appropriately, so that when I get back into a run, hey, the 3 people here, hope you're doing well. Welcome to DadBod. My name's Joe. I live in Tokyo. I'm like 300 pounds and I like long distance running. So I'm out here. My goal was 7 miles today. Having some hamstring issues I'm rehabbing, so we're doing 6. 6 miles is about almost 10K, probably like 9.5 kilometers for you metric folk. Well, let me know how you're doing in the chat. How you doing? Got a little bit more, but I'm on the last 1.5 miles, last, I don't know, 3K. So I'm trying to do everything I can with the best form possible. That said, I'm twisted up. Certain areas are overactive, underactive. I wouldn't call it sloppy. I would call it suboptimal. That best describes my form right now. Do some high knees. So basically out here kind of working into some discomforts while trying to challenge my body. And here's the kicker, while being safe with it. At my age and size, legitimate injuries could be a huge setback. So I really work on gradually challenging my body and extending my capabilities or limits without breaking past them and breaking myself. So that's where we're at. I think we could add cardio in. So we're gonna do a deadlift, squeeze the butt, tuck the core, roll shoulders back, abs, lean, mellow, short pace. And the perk of this, and why it's more comfortable for me, when you land with your feet under your body as opposed to out in front of your body, which is how I run, you don't recruit the hamstring as heavily unless you're kicking back and running fast. So for me, if I have this hamstring discomfort, if I lean forward, gradually turn on my abs, keep my feet under me, and do little chicken steps at a mellow pace, if I stick to it, if I do that, then it doesn't really stretch it to the injured zone. If I extend outward, if I pick up my pace, try to kick farther back, that's when I feel the work in that zone. So I'm not gonna do that, at least not right now, because that's not what I need. Every day our body is different, and we have to figure out how to push and challenge it while respecting it. Because I was. So one way I'm respecting my body is I'm running with a shorter stride, slower pace, so I can go the distance safely. And actually what's marvelous is that concrete structure up there by that guy. Whew. That will be, friends, mile 5. Huge accomplishment for me, getting back on it. And while I'm definitely sore, I'm definitely gonna have some aches and discomforts today, you just lock it in, keep plunking, and remind yourself that this mile is going to take some time, 15 to 20 minutes, depending on walk, jog, stretch. It's not going to take 3 minutes. So we should do our best not to be an idiot and artificially quicken our pace out of desperation for a finish line that is still reasonably far away, friends. We're not there yet, okay? We're close, and close is still good. See if I can hold it. That crane's our next friend. That signals the stairs to take us over this road. Shoot, we're not at 5 yet. Still got a ways. Good to know. Good to know. Just trying to lock it in. Just trying to be disciplined. Core, tilt, shoulders back, head up, kick back, land under my body with my feet. Good work, get a deadlift. Now, almost at 5. We're not quite there, but I'm okay walking to it. I think we're very close, actually. Yeah, 0.96. So, get our breathing at the cones. And I'm gonna stride out my legs again to keep trying to lovingly work into my paralyzed hamstring. Now, it's probably impossible to see because the GoPro sucks at night. Mount Fuji's right. It's awesome. So cool to see Fuji-san, which just means Mr. Fuji. Well, it's the honorific. I don't know if it's gendered, but knowing that Japan is patriarchy, gonna be nice, but I don't know. Maybe nature, feminine, something I should know. Now, let me check my battery again since we only have a mile left. You're gonna make it? 22%? We'll get close. Let's give it a go. I think we can do it. So stride it out. Make my hamstring stretch and pull. See, part of me doesn't know if I over mobilized it or if I strained it. How gozaimasu. That's as an athlete. It's nice to call myself an athlete. As an athlete, I'm gonna own that, even if I'm 31 and ride a desk as an engineer. I run half marathons. I'm still an athlete. 300 pounds a man. I can move if I need to, at a very slow, controlled pace for long distances. But as an athlete, one of my issues I struggle with is hypermobility, which means I tend to overstretch, pull things out of alignment. So it's actually important for me to do strength work more than mobility, which is opposite of a lot of people. So when I have an ache and pain, such as this hamstring thing I'm dealing with, or hip discomfort or lower back, how gozaimasu. Sometimes I can't tell if a tight issue that needs to be stretched out, or if it's a muscle fatigue issue, or if something's been like hypermobilized and it's causing a shift in posture, which is rubbing up on nerves and things. It's typically that. The problem is like stretching feet short term, but then it gives me problems. So there's a part of me that actually thinks walking and stepping hard with my left heel and telling my hamstring to tighten and pull my body over my foot, that might actually be what it needs, because I've tried rubbing it, rolling it, stretching it, and it keeps getting worse. So part of me thinks it's actually too mobile. I'm so excited to see what this bridge turns out to be. Well, it makes me apprehensive that they're going to put an overpass here or something that's going to ruin my nice scenic ride. All right, let's hit our last gooey packet. Gooey number 2. We're in the middle of our last mile. This will be mile 4 out of 6 that we're getting going. So, what do we want? Tell me in chat. Do we want salted caramel? Disgusting. Or salted watermelon? Much more disgusting. It's okay, I'll decide for you because I don't know if people are lurking or not. I'm gonna do salted watermelon because it's absolutely repugnant. By the way, repugnant is a word that I know pretty much only because of the Animaniacs. There's an episode that focused exclusively on things that are repugnant. Pinky and the Brain. Y'all know who Pinky and the Brain is? Gosh, young people. I'm old now. 6:30, about 15-20 minutes left of this thing. Let's finish up well. So let's take this packet. Oh no. It's so gross. So gross. Oh. Yummy. Yum good. Gross. Definitely slowing down, friends. Well, that's okay. It's been a long workout, so it's expected. But we got our last little boost of energy. Let's pull us through. Grab my wet glove, which would be an awesome band name. I love weird band names. They're my favorite. I like even the Red Hot Chili Peppers. What? Like, that's not a normal thing. Whew. Squeeze the glute. Still finding it. Squeeze the glute. This last mile might be a walk, we'll see. Let's start at walk. Let's work into that hamstring. Still squeezing the abs. Still working through some upper shoulder issues too. I think at the bicycle, I'll hit a deadlift, pull it in, see if I can at least jog towards the stairs. We don't have to do the whole flight. I like to see if I can make it out that far. That'll be a good stretch. That's it. Squeeze, tug. Feet under me, little steps. I have all these cues when I work out because I'm a bigger guy, so I got a different risk profile, just to make sure that I don't hurt myself. I enjoy running from a process perspective. None of it's fun. Notice that you can decouple joy and fun. Or fun's more associated with happiness. Joy is more associated with a deep internal sense of satisfaction, purpose, and meaning in your life. Enjoyment is the process of joy, not the process of happiness. They're often misconstrued. So for me, I enjoy running as a discipline, as a process. Gives me space to think. It's hard. It's good for my heart. Strengthens my mental resolve. Gives me some nice hot and cold exposure. Stride it out. Or in the trottle walk. That inner groin, that's gonna be the most sore, man. It's gonna be so weird. And as an engineer, there's like a problem-solving aspect of running that I like. Like, you know, concerning like what pace can you set? How hard do you push? What form do you need to maintain? How do you optimize squeezing your abs for form without squeezing so much that you need a bathroom. These are the things that I personally enjoy about it from a process perspective. Not pooping my pants in public 5:30 in the morning. Always a win. So, friends, thank you for being with me in the process today. I'm not saying goodbye. Okay, I'm still got half a mile, 0.6 miles left. But what I am saying is my battery could die at any point. Anytime I touch the GoPro to turn on the screen, it seems to kill the battery faster. So we're just gonna go at our own pace. Deadlift, squeeze, deadlift, squeeze the butt. Yeah. Core, small pace. It's like tiptoes. But I like working a problem. I like finding a way to challenge myself. One of the reasons I love it so much also is like setting up a plan based on a goal at a certain time, like making a spreadsheet of it. Ooh, I love that, because you're creating a long-term check the box kind of activity or process. It's a dopamine hit every time you go check, check. So I personally really enjoy that process. It's challenging, it's hard, but I know that if I plan it right and navigate the process to the best of my ability, I'll probably be set up to accomplish whatever it is that I aspire to accomplish. Now, there's always expectations versus reality and adjustments, and that's where working the problem comes in. You're working the big problem, creating a plan, then you're navigating the details. Both are hard. I mean, look at Oji-san. If you see a little bit of gray on top in Japan, that man is easily 87 years old. Now you're like, there's no way he's 87. Probably right. But 60s, most probable. 70s, possible. And he ran up this road, and he's walking up the steps we're about to walk up. Right? Japanese people, you gotta be careful of stereotypes and things, but holistically as a culture, they value processes and they execute them very well, and they treat their life as a process, as a discipline. The word that's common is like do, which is like a way of. So like judo is a way of like wrestling, warrior maybe. No, that's bushido. Well, bushido is the way of the sword. Gotta check into my do. Sado is a way of flower arrangement. Or no, tea ceremony. What am I saying? So they have a do, a way of. And fitness, health, is part of their way of. Now there's naturally variation in that. People make their own choices, eat their own way. Overwork is a way of Japanese culture as well. Some people die at their desk. And happily, it actually happens so frequently. This hill, oh my god, happens so frequently. They have a name for it in Japanese. I don't know what it is, but you can Google it. It's literally like, hey Google, what's it called when people in Japan work so hard that they just die at their desk in Japanese. And there's a word. In the US, we eat ourselves into oblivion, live a sedentary lifestyle, and die on our couch. You can choose your death, you know. Alright, up the hill. Sore. So you may have noticed, 6 mile run, we're walking, stretching the last mile of it. Part of the reason is finally got my hamstring to behave. Kind of got things firing and stretching the right way. The groin's not compromising as much. Now, gotta be careful now. Working out when you're injured isn't a cure to injury necessarily, but we do have a tendency sometimes to like that's not the right word, to immobilize when something's not exactly as we want to be. Now, you break an arm, yes, you immobilize it, you put it in a cast, okay? That's one thing. But a lot of times if we have an ache and pain, and we see certain physicians, not all physicians, some of them will be like, hey, you need to put it in a brace, stay off it for a couple weeks, then you get back on it, hurts again, see a physician, and they're like, surgery. Right, like that's the continuum. A lot of times because of cost constraints within the US, we definitely don't consider physical therapy when we should. One of the beautiful things about physical therapy is you actually, in love, you work into those discomforts. P.S. the battery could die any second, so I love you all that are hanging out. Thanks for being part of this. We have about a quarter of a mile left, so I'm confident we will hit 6 miles, which is just about a 10K. Huge win for the day, coming off of 2 bad weeks. There's just a quick synopsis, but I'll keep going. You know, so like, sometimes within reason, it is good to work into some discomfort, to immobilize it the right way, to figure out the kinks, as long as you're doing it with good form, safely. Now, I would classify this run as borderline, and the reason I say that, there are certain other discomforts that